Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joining me in the studio, well, he claims not to be a fan of satellite jokes, they're always over his head, and in Neverland. You know him, he's my co-host, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Welcome. Welcome back for another episode of the show. Thank you very much, you new listeners, and of course you repeat offenders.
Keep repeating them offences.
Oh, it's great to have you back for another episode of the show. It's always fun.
It is.
And hope you've all had a lovely week. It's been amazing weather.
It's been nice, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, it's been like
definitely got tanned
waves.
up. I definitely tanned it up.
Yeah, I've actually caught the sun a little bit. I know people just generally are like, sweating because it's just super hot. Yeah. It's just been a heat wave all over the place. Yeah. We did have a bit of thunder and lightning today.
We did, yeah. It's going to start going down to the teens now and start, But then again, it refreshes.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
It is.
I don't mind it when it's like like heat wave hot and then you get a bit of rain because it is refreshing and your garden needs it and stuff. So it's definitely. Almost like I don't really mind if we have a bit
later
of rain.
On, do you? So you want a bit of both.
Oh yeah, balance. Yeah. It's all about the balance.
That's it.
So, but we have got a great episode for you this week. This week we've got a topic that I've been wanting to cover for a while now. It's something that in the UFO circles is a mystery, a conspiracy, and there's so much attached to it in terms of people whose claims to have found it. Information being put forward that disappeared, as well as the people who put the information forward. Yeah, there's so much to it. This week.
Declassified stuff as well.
We're going to be talking about the Black Knight satellite conspiracy.
Oh, yes.
If you don't know what that is, it's the claims that there is an extraterrestrial satellite in our orbit. That's right. As well as floating around the universe.
The solar system.
It's
been. I have had information that's been that I found ages ago, but then I can't find it now. Well, so it's been taken down.
According to some UFO theorists, the Black Knight satellite is an artificial satellite of extraterrestrial origin, and it's been orbiting the Earth for approximately 13,000 years.
That's a long time.
We'll be looking into it a little bit later on in the show.
Indeed.
I think you'll find that's worth sticking around for.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And if not, what more do you want from us, people?
Yeah.
It's not, we're not doing enough. Oh, anyway.
Well, you just have to go to the news if you don't like the story.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, TV. I mean, I was going to say, what have you been up to this week? But I've got to say, TV this week has been absolutely phenomenal.
I've seen hardly anything.
You've not seen anything, but no. I mean, in terms of, if I say TV, but I mean streaming.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're up to date with all your shows, you will know, wow, this week's just been
phenomenal.
It's been a blinder. Yeah. Right. Umbrella Academy finally dropped season 3 the other day, which was just well worth the wait. It's been, with COVID and other restrictions, it's been a long time coming. If you've not checked out the Umbrella Academy, it's a very good show. It's I think it's what's the guy? I always forget the guy's name, but it's there's a band. He was basically guitarist for the band.
No idea.
But he basically wrote. I can't remember it. I'll find out.
The
show's brilliant anyway. Right. Yeah. But he kind of wrote this comic. Right. And it was adapted into this show. The show's absolutely brilliant. I'm into superhero stuff, so it's right up my street.
It's true.
But season 3's just dropped. And this series, they're dealing with the grandfather paradox. It's all a bit time travel, which is gets me excited.
That is true.
But
get more excited.
The grandfather paradox creates an energy ball called a Kugelblitz.
Oh,
which sounds awesome straight away. So I mean, obviously, if you're into your spacey, timey-wimey stuff, get on the Umbrella Academy. There's also been the season finale of Obi-Wan.
Yes, I can't wait to see that.
You need to check this out, and especially if you're a Star Wars fan, it is definitely worth.
I've got to wait till they're all done, and it's like, bang, I can do it in
Well, that's it, season finale now. There's only 6 episodes in the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
If you're into the older movies but liked the prequels, this is right. Yeah. This has got everything.
Sweet.
Honestly, so do check it out.
I've heard it's been phenomenal.
As well as The Boys.
Yeah, I've got to catch up with that as well. I heard there's,
So I feel spoiled this week. And another person who probably feels spoiled is Kate Bush.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kate
Bush.
She's been running up that road, running up that hill. And she's absolutely smashed it. She's just broken a record of longest time taken to reach number 1 in the UK of 37 years.
That's a bit of time.
With running up that hill. And it's all thanks to Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's true.
So the show, obviously,
all music.
It's based in the 80s. The show, though, Stranger Things, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you think about when that track was released, it's almost like it's being used as a totem for the character in the show, because it's like as a symbol of strength, and she uses it as a protection, if you like.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are getting onto it, but there's been this whole thing in the of kids turning around to the parents and going, "Have you heard this new woman out in the charts at the minute, Kate Bush?" And the parents are like, "Are you taking the piss?"
I like the way that actually, especially like Marvel and that, like bring back old generation songs.
Well, this is Netflix, isn't it? I mean, I
love
series
it.
Well, so I mean, it was the same with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
that is
playlist. Classic for that kind of stuff.
But what I like is when the playlist in that movie Guardians of the Galaxy is playing, there's only it's playing, but it's kind of a point in the movie when it's apt or it's appropriate to play that tune, or it's kind of it ties
fits perfectly.
In and fits. So it's like the soundscape of the movie is kind of fit to the soundtrack. So the movie and soundtrack work hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely. Whoever organised the soundtracks to that, they've done a phenomenal job.
But this is what I find really good about like stuff like that, investing in that sort of thing in a series like Stranger Things. When it's set in the 80s and you've got so many great tracks to draw from, it kind of really helps it. Kate Bush must be over the moon because she actually owns all the recording copyright to running up that hill.
Money.
And like I say, she's smashing it in the UK, US, wherever Stranger Things is popular, basically. And
well done to the.
I mean, she was quality anyway. I loved that tune before. I mean, I love the placebo version.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who loved her for a long time, but then she disappeared for a little while. But then she's just dropped a new album, hasn't she? And it's like,
has she? Yeah. Well, good for Kate. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I always found she's like kind of a bit strange, a bit like quirky. And it's like that scene in...
So that fits, really.
In fact, I did see a meme. It's like that scene in Back to the Future where it was like, perhaps you're not ready for this yet, but your kids are going to love it.
Yeah.
And some people say like Florence and Machina is a kind of a modern Kate Bush in the sense that she does something a bit different.
She's got a massive, powerful voice.
Big range, exactly.
Yeah, so, and she doesn't really need a mic.
So it's been an exciting week.
It has, yeah.
Have you been up to anything? Sorry, I've just hogged that.
Yeah,
I've got loads more to talk about. I'm not out of the woods yet, but
I've just been saving nature. That's all I've been doing.
Taylor versus nature.
Yeah.
In a one-off special only on Netflix.
A bird from the kitchen and my dog. Yeah.
That is actually with Chewy about.
Yeah, yeah. Chewy heard something outside, so because I had the back door open, so he legged it out there. Showing him who's boss, and then I seen something go to the back of the door to the kitchen, so I was like, hold on, that looks like a cat. So went in there and nope, bird on the floor just flapping its wings. So I was like, right, I've got two options
I've had
here.
this before though myself.
Let Chewy have a go, which I'm not that cruel, or put him away so I can get to the bird. So
you got it. See, did you manage to save the bird though?
Yeah, I bet after it stopped flapping for it was only a couple of seconds when it was flapping around. So I got a towel, went near it with a towel, popped it underneath it, stood on there, lifted it up, and then just wrapped it and took it outside, put it on the side and let it go.
He's like David Attenborough, innit?
Well, at the same time there was a bird on top of a tree at the back of my door. and it was screaming its head off. Like,
it's crazy. Do you know, like you know, most wildlife, if you were, I mean, obviously, if you put some food out, it'd be, you know, try and, you know, probably try and take it out your hands.
Yeah. What, like a seagull?
Well, no, like, you know, seagulls.
Yeah, seagulls.
Bastards for it. Yeah, like, they'll take it if you asked it or not. But, you know, I mean, like, chipmunks and squirrels and stuff like that. Now, I only say because our friend of the show, Jess from Not So Minnesota Nice podcast. She's like fucking a Disney princess or something. Honestly, she's like fucking call her the Wild.
Why?
Honestly, she posts on the Instagram, and there's literally like chipmunks and stuff just coming over to her like some scene out of a Disney movie. It's like it is amazing. I mean, like, I wish I had that sort of superpower.
Hey, well, I must admit, I was talking to someone the other day.
I can't even keep my cat from running away from me.
Nature, to me, nature looks like it's having a good spring comeback at the minute. You've got loads of insects. You've got, sorry to say, but you have got loads of roadkill as well.
Oh, sorry about that. That's not me.
It's animal. It's part of the process, isn't it? But I've seen more animals out lately than. And it's not just because it's summertime, but like there's been a
honestly,
low growth.
There is actually, because we go on a bike ride most days, or like, and we say if we hit the canal and trek down that canal bit, then obviously there's a lot of geese. Yeah. But since the baby boom, honestly, mate, there's no room to cycle. You've kind of like, you're like, excuse me, coming through, beep beep, get out of the way. You know, there's fucking loads of geese. No, they're all just calm as fucking anything, just kind of let you go past as long as you're swerving them and weaving through them all. It's only when you go near the young, they start hissing. So anyway, if you guys at home had any close calls with nature recently, I would love to hear from you.
Had a fight with a bear.
Yeah, I've seen that. You know, locked horns with a deer.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, let us know. We'd love to hear.
Best thing I ever seen was a bear and a dog. Best friends each year used to come back. The bear used to come back.
I seen this.
Yeah,
actually,
the best video I'd seen
that.
On that.
Actually, I do remember that vaguely.
Beautiful.
Talking of animals, and talking about, like, you know, just cool stuff.
Yeah,
we've been we're going to pioneer. Well, say pioneer. We're going to go where no other podcast has gone before. We're going to try, as far as we know, we're going to try and send something to space. I think we've got most of the stuff to do this now. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Like,
just a few little bits and
pieces.
Send it off.
One of the most crucial elements into what we want to do here and send a balloon to space, to the stratosphere, is finding something to send. Now, we've been racking our brains, come up with some good, little funny ideas, some good ideas. You guys are coming up with some good ideas.
Yeah.
We've not really nailed it down yet.
No.
But I seen this story.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And these guys have sent a hamster.
A hamster?
A hamster to space, an altitude of 23 kilometres.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they got it to return safely. I would have been like, well, what if it suffocates?
An oxygen mask?
That's what I'm saying. What was it? Was it in an oxygen tank? I just don't get how it was done. It was a successful first test flight. And they're like,
next one is the cat, then the dog.
Then the fucking...
Then the gerbil, a rabbit. Don't forget the rabbit. Yeah.
We'll send all the pets.
Yeah.
It's like pet space.
Well, you have to say,
space monarchs.
NASA and all that did the same thing.
Well, we don't want to send anything so kind of like, you know, organic. We don't want to send any animals.
Send an ant up in a little
in a kinder egg.
Yeah. Put a few little holes in it.
Yeah.
Put a bit
That's
honey
not going to help
it,
is it? A few holes in it. That's going to be. We need it to
help
be
it when it floats.
Surely. So anyway. And then when it splashes down, that's going to
it'd be nice and comfy in a basket.
It's not going to work.
Put a bit of cotton wool there.
Anyway, right, moving on with the show. So we'd love to hear your suggestions on what we could send even to the stratosphere.
What about an egg? See if it boils when it gets to the top.
Oh, maybe if it comes down hard boiled.
Bit of science, maybe.
Might explode with the pressure.
Well, yeah, we'd
soon see.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I think we should put an egg in at the same time.
An egg explodes all over your camera lens.
You've got to be careful of the weight, though.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's been Glastonbury Festival this weekend.
It has, yeah.
Have you seen any of the highlights?
I've seen little bits, but to be honest, I've been too busy, so I haven't.
Too busy myself, to be honest. I'm gonna check it out. It's a bit of a shame. Third year since it's not been on.
Yeah.
So this is the first year in 4 years.
Yeah.
So
that's
yeah.
Yeah, so
it's gonna be going off right now at Glastonbury. So
Definitely.
everyone who's there, I hope you're having a wonderful time.
Yeah, enjoy. Hope you enjoyed it.
We did have somebody message in this week for the What's Fucked Up Where You're From.
Oh, right, we haven't had that for a while.
I know we haven't. And Alison says, hello, I'm Alison, and I'm from Earth.
Oh, right. Oh, glad to meet one.
So there's something fucked up going on.
Yeah.
On Earth, apparently. So she says she's been seeing some images on Facebook. She sent us the image about the moon landing and wanted to know our opinions on it. So I've shown you the photo. Now, this is regarding images that are going around on the social medias, and it's all like wildfire there. People are saying Neil Armstrong's boots on his Apollo astronaut his spacesuit don't match the footprints on the moon. Now, what do you make of that, Mr. Taylor?
Yeah, I agree. At first, I
will be posting the photos so people, if you've not already seen them,
that the second astronaut, Buzz, actually put the footprint over.
So what you're saying, he had different grips?
So he could have.
He requested different grips on his spacesuit?
Yeah, it could be that he's got different grips. Yeah, because, you want to test up there. A few things may work on one suit. You know what I mean? You want to test it on another suit.
So what you're saying, that Buzz actually,
he might
stood
he definitely
did.
Yeah, if you go up there now, you'd see Buzz's footprint, because he stood on top of Armstrong's footprint.
Well, there you
go. Even though Armstrong yeah.
But
the video may have been done for the second one, but said it was for the first footprint.
Maybe. Well, there you go.
That could be an answer. Could be.
As well as we could.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
I don't know. I was looking at it, and when she sent it, because I have seen this, but I've just skimmed past it on the feeds. I've seen it a few times recently, actually, because we do go on a few groups.
Yeah.
And it's just the same as normal stuff you see, posters. I've seen it as a meme. Yeah, but it was only when someone brought it to my attention and said, what do you make of this? And I've actually looked at it. I was kind of like, well, that is something, because, if that's supposedly the suit that he wore.
Well, that's
on
questionable,
the moon
isn't it, really?
And it is a famous footprint, you know what I mean? When you think about it, you remember the
most famous footprint in the world,
I'd say. A char-grilled steak, with the lines in it, the footprint. And then when you see the boot itself, it's not even got that type of grip. So how is this foot responsible for that print? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it might not be the suits. They might have been duped on the suit, possibly.
Maybe there was a suit with an outer boot.
You know what? I might have to have a look at some of the archives.
We're going to start having to look at some suits now to find
the
out
bottom
for
of
you, Alison.
Yeah, and see what it actually looks like at the bottom with the bits. Or it could have been that was a suit, but they had another suit that they had to put on, or boots, extra layers to support themselves, because they had no support against radiation and stuff like that apart from the suits. So if you've got an extra layer on top, you've got extra support, so you can be out there longer, even though they was only out there for a certain amount of time.
Well, hopefully that's the answer to your question. We'll have a look a bit more into it.
Yeah. Well, that was interesting. Thanks.
This week's episode is brought to us in part by Audible's free trial offer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a great way for customers to try audiobooks and make the most of every moment.
Why not?
With their trial, customers can receive one free audiobook of their choice. So there's to keep even if you cancel.
Yeah.
Prime members will receive 2 audiobooks in their trial. And the ability to choose from a world's largest selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers, new releases, sci-fis, romances, mysteries and classics, and more. After 30 days, you'll receive 1 book every month for $7.99, and it renews automatically. But you can cancel at any time.
Yeah, any time.
There's loads to choose from, and as well as audiobooks, they have a large selection of podcasts.
Yes, they
do.
I
think you'll find that yours truly, Never a Straight Answer podcast, is on there too.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
yeah.
it's pretty awesome. And there's like I would say, there's a large selection of books, so you'll never get bored. And it's always nice to have somebody comfortably reading you to sleep.
Especially celebrities here and there.
I know a bit of Stephen Fry telling you the business.
Yeah, there you go.
What more do you want?
What more? Yeah, you don't need any more, do you?
Well, you could have our
Well, you could, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, depends who you're into, innit?
You could have more.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for.
Well, yeah.
And if you say you're only paying $7.99 or a free trial, then you'll get what you're given.
But you've got a massive selection, so you've got so much to pick from. So it is definitely worth the while.
Well, like earlier we said, we were going to be this week looking into the Black Knight satellite.
Oh, yeah.
And it is like a really interesting topic because it's something that has been kind of in the, speculated about and kind of come in and out of the media for absolutely years and years, decades even. It goes far back, even before, as far back as before any, countries on Earth even had any satellites in the sky.
Nowhere near putting anything up there.
When you've got nothing in the sky to begin with, apart from only kind of dreams of looking up at the stars and thinking one day we might be able to get up there. But up until that point, that was all just like a pipe dream, really. It was kind of potential was there, but there wasn't really anything.
Technology.
Nobody had done anything yet. Right.
It wasn't important back then, and it is
now. It was kind of theorized that there were actually 2 satellites in our orbit at that time.
Yes.
Now, it's interesting to note that one of them apparently was supposed to be in retrograde, which means that it was reversed orbit around Earth, right?
Yeah.
Now, when this came to the attention of the US government, they automatically thought it was the Russians and that they'd had some sort of secret spy satellite up in the orbit.
That's right, and the Russians thought the same as well, that it was Americans.
So how did they get past this to actually know that it wasn't either one or the other? Because obviously it was a space race where they were trying to get their own satellites up for them same reasons, because basically one thought the other one had the edge, if you like.
Yeah, well, it was the catch-up, wasn't it? It was the Cold War of getting there first, and whoever was going to get there first were going to be the champions of space. But like now, there's a new space race. You know what I mean? So for the last at least 2 years, it's been so immense on every country near enough who can afford it, trying to get up to space. Massive amount of industries coming in out of it now.
Well, apparently, the origins of the Black Knight legend, they're kind of a bit shaky. So basically, a lot have come down to around 1899, when Nikola Tesla, who claimed to have discovered this, he kind of said that he was getting long-delayed echoes when he was trying to send signals up.
Yeah, that's right.
So he was testing audio radio signals, and he was getting kind of, like I say, this delay. And he kind of summarized that there must have been something sort of intercepting this signal, essentially, or kind of interfering with it, bouncing it back. So we get an echo, right? What happened there? Because he first heard it as like these amateur radio operators heard it as well, like in Norway in 1928. Like, so what were they hearing? The same sort of thing as Nikola Tesla, like, a radio signal that was echoey. Was the signal coming from the satellite itself? Or were we sending this signal up and getting it a bounce back?
Well, the signal bounced back because there was another signal coming across. So that's how we found that there was a new signal, and where there shouldn't have been a signal. And like, even today, they've gone through all the sounds and signals that you would hear out there today, and them signals weren't same. They were strangely beated.
Right. Okay. Because it was actually right. So there was these radio operators in Norway in 1928. You've got Nikola Tesla saying that he's hearing things in 1899.
Yeah.
In 1954, you had UFO researcher Donald Keyhoe, who told the newspapers in the United States Air Force that there was 2 satellites in Earth's orbit that he detected at that time. No country had the technology, so this is what we were getting at about going into the space race.
Yeah.
So
no one had sent anything as far as we knew.
But
consider that.
All the skeptics were basically noticed that he was promoting a UFO book at the time, so they didn't take him very seriously. They just thought it was all self-promotion and that Keyhoe wasn't really the real deal.
Yeah, because actually he did state later on that he made it all up. He actually stated it in an interview, which didn't help the sight of and the conspiracy of the black satellite, because now that throws hoax in and scares people away from going, oh, that's nothing. You know what I mean?
Let's step back a minute. So for anyone who's kind of like confused, we know what a satellite is. It's the basic definition is an object or something that is in our orbit, in a elliptical. Is it an elliptical?
Orbit. Yeah, basically it's falling.
It's in lock, isn't it? But it's like it's always falling. As the Earth's turning.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah.
So,
but it's harder to do it the other way.
Yeah, well, this is what we're saying about putting it into retrograde. Yeah. That actually exists now. We can do that now with modern satellites.
We couldn't
but
at
that time, even the idea of putting a satellite was only theoretical. We'd never actually done it.
We weren't even looking at the maths at that time.
There was the idea that there was 2 potential satellites already in the orbit. Where'd they come from? Now, to describe the Black Knight satellite, how would you put it? Because to me, it looks like a big shard of like metal.
To me, it looks like a chrysalis.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from in that sort of shape.
Nature, it does look. It's got its curves and like it. Yeah, and a chrysalis. I would say it looks like more than anything, or a nut.
Well, it kind of looks to me like a. It does look like a shard. So, say if you were to break, so like a broken metal object, where it'd be it, but when metal breaks, it's very brittle, and you get those kind of like pretty sharp sort of pieces. It kind of looks like that, but then when you look at photos of it, it kind of does look like it changes shape quite a lot. Now,
like a Klingon warrior,
like I can't speak Klingon.
Sword. A
battle axe, or something like that. A Klingon, I don't know. We're going to get loads of comments now about this. But I know where you're coming from. It's really hard to describe. I recommend that if you are interested in to know what the shape
picture
and what the Black Knight satellite looks like, I do recommend having a bit of a Google.
Yeah.
It don't like I say, it does seem to change shape a little bit. Like, But again, is that to do with the angle, the way we're seeing it from different positions? Because, I mean, in terms of sightings, now we're actually in space. The Black Knight satellite is spotted so often, especially from the ISS feeds. There was actually
if you don't turn them off.
An astronaut who actually came out as witnessing the satellite later on.
Right.
I'll try and find his information in a second, but it's Gordon Cooper. So in 1963, astronaut Gordon Cooper supposedly reported a UFO sighting during his 15th orbit in Mercury 9. That was confirmed by tracking stations. There was no evidence of this happening, but there were other tracking stations who could corroborate it being up in the sky at the same time.
True, and they automatically went into NASA's UFO mode, which was to
UFO mode, go!
Watch what they said on the communications across, so because people could hear communications in between.
Yeah, so it was like they go into top secret. Don't spill the beans. Don't say anything.
Yeah, it's like the Father Christmas codes and stuff that they use now.
Oh, Father Christmas code.
Yeah, if
Explain.
they say if you're listening to one and they talk about they've seen Father Christmas, or they've seen like Jack Frost or something like that, it's actually saying that it's a UFO. Because there is, I believe, an Italian woman astronaut who actually stated all the codes on what they were saying up there, because she had to say it because she's seen one, and she said like, "Oh, Santa Claus is here. He's just
Santa Claus is coming to town,
coming right up to the window and stuff like that." And then when she come back to Earth,
the neighbors have landed. The neighbors are requesting a cup of sugar.
What about the reindeer?
I know, yeah. It's like Donner, Blitzen, and all the rest.
Yeah, no milk and cookies here, bruvs. Get out of it.
Anyway, we actually had a rocket called the Black Knight rocket. I don't know if you know that. We were using in conjunction with the Blue Streak missile.
That's right.
Program between 1958 and 1965.
Yes.
Yeah, of course it was. The Black Knight satellite launcher project announced in 1964. So, I mean, the name, I mean, where did we steal that for this, or did they steal that?
Well, I was thinking that, but was they going to actually put something in orbit? But they went into orbit and then it come back down. It was basically a test to see about getting out of the atmosphere.
Okay, interesting.
So the object didn't stay in space.
I mean, there's been a lot of kind of, a lot of information, not like kind of a lot of research, but a bit of research going into this, these radio echoes that Tesla had discovered. In 1973, a Scottish author, Duncan Lunan, analysed the long delay radio echoes that were received by Halley's and other specialised equipment. This is 13,000 years old alien probe located in orbit around the Earth, he reckons, and the Moon.
There's no he has no evidence behind it, but he calculates that's
a theory. But he reckons that he had there was a signal involved, right, and a signal and a message.
Yes,
in the signal.
That's right.
Right, and he's had it decoded or translated, and he reckons that the message is coming from a planet located in the solar system of the star Epsilon Bootis. Lunar later revealed his connection, saying that he had made outright errors in his checking it out and all the rest of it,
in his
and his methods. And,
because I heard
had a bit of a retract.
In the message, it was stating that what planet it lived on the seventh planet. Or,
totally. It was saying it was the seventh planet and this had many moons and all the rest of it. And, if you're going to, translate
which we could probably
an alien
calculate
signal
now,
and then come up with something so specific and kind of on the money.
True.
Going, we live on the 8th planet from the sun, and we've got 3 moons, and this, that, and the other, and we're 15,000 light years away.
We sent the satellite to your Earth and stuff like that.
Yeah, because this is it. What they were saying, that the satellite was them, and they've put it around our Earth just to kind of keep an eye on us. And I mean, I think that is a lot of people's maybe theory on it. Maybe this is an alien satellite, an alien spaceship that is just docked constantly. Keeping an eye out.
Yeah, true, but like it's I mean, the first decent picture of it, if you could go out there and look for it, it was from 1998, the STS-88 mission, and that's where they first actually got really it got big. It started getting really interested in it. But then there's supposed to be supposed to have been shot down in 2017 by the Illuminati.
Yeah, I was about to say there's supposedly a missile strike on it. Now, apparently there was 2, wasn't it? I mean, when was this nuke?
2017 they were supposed to have shot it
When
down.
did they nuke the moon?
When did they nuke the moon? They nuked the moon in, I think it was 2019.
So you've got this kind of like wave. You've got a couple of incidents where you've got like the government going, do you know what we fancy doing this weekend? Do you fancy nuking the moon? You want to nuke the moon? We're going to blow that satellite out of the sky that everyone's talking about. You know, it's
but
like,
apparently there's footage.
It seems that there's, you know, what's the reason for doing these things if there isn't a threat?
Well, this is, I suppose, where conspiracy comes from, because apparently there was footage to it, and it showed that an alien escape pod had come out of the machine that had been shot down. But then where's the materials to that machine?
Well, where's the pod?
Yeah, well, probably flew off to Mars or wherever it come from, to mothership.
To Epsilon, Blue Dune, or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, you know, the idea that this object is in our orbit and it's been there for so long, we're looking for alien signals. We only talked about last week about looking for black holes for so long, and then all of a sudden, you know, we found one right under our nose. We're sending signals out looking for alien life. Could it be that this is right under our nose? Maybe the governments actually know about it. Who knows? I mean, it's like, it's something that I've clocked on ISS feed, and then they've cut it. There's so many photos. If you look, it is something, and it is so alien in look.
Well,
You know, you can't help but feel that there is something to this. I mean, NASA have come out and said, in terms of their answer to it, that it's a heat blanket or a thermal blanket that's been lost off a previous mission, and it's just floating around in space.
It was actually the same mission, 1998. What was it?
So what have these
STS
people
88
been seeing in space for all these years, as well as detecting?
This was where we had the
apparatus.
first photo. This is where the first photo of the strange object was, which I find the best photo of the lot, to be honest, from going off around the years. I mean, even in 2020, there was a photo taken from a satellite from the Philippines. There's actually video footage.
Oh, right, okay. You know what they did, though? You know what the Black Knight satellite did when they did shoot it? It just went, ha-ha, it's just a flesh wound.
Ah, yes. And then flew off. But then
I found... Nuke the Black Knight. It's not going to really do much, is it?
No, well, it depends what it's made of, to be honest. I mean, I found information out a while ago, which I can't find now, which was... There was video footage from a space probe that had been around Mars. It'd been around the Moon. It'd been around Jupiter. It's been spotted around Pluto as well.
Well, it's been going,
and then
it was discovered a lot longer. In fact, you know, we talked about Tesla, say, in 1899, but it was reported even earlier than that as a mystery satellite. So basically, an unidentified silent satellite has been discovered circling the Earth near polar orbit. The United States tracking stations and the Defense Department said today the identity of the mystery object, which has been dubbed the Dark Satellite, not known nearly 2 weeks after tracking it. And this was way before, you know, Nikola Tesla had kind of had any idea, you know, about what the enigma surrounding the black satellite, before he even, you know, got involved. You know, there's kind of a lot going on here. Do you know what I mean? So, what's your thoughts and opinions on what this could be in terms of? Do you think it's something as simple as a thermal blanket that's been lost off a mission? Or do you think that there's something to the alien thing? Or do you think it just could be some space junk, an interestingly shaped piece of space junk?
Well, let me ask you, do you know about the lost tapes?
I have heard about these lost tapes because I believe that, I don't remember who it was in particular, but they went to the government and said, I've got tapes of this signal and, you know, it's related to this satellite. I've received a message from the satellite of something like this. and then they basically confiscated the tapes, and the guy went missing. Or is it
Mr.
something
Valet,
along those lines?
Yeah, a French manager in 1961, French scientist. He actually got recordings of the tape, and apparently it was like it was quite. It was the proof there, basically. And he sent it to his supervisor, who then erased and destroyed the videotapes, and there was no apparent reason why. You should
never send it to the supervisor.
Make a copy, mate. You know,
what
I mean? And then give them the copy, because if you got the original, bang, you've got it there. But if you've got a copy, you know what I mean, then it's like, well, I want the original. It's not proof unless you've got the original. And this is where some of the evidence goes away, you know what I mean?
Well, they say that it's potentially been sent there a long time ago by the inhabitants of another planet, potentially Epsilon Bootis.
Yeah,
maybe.
Epsilon B. Yeah.
And, you know, it's been put in our orbit, just much like our satellites have been.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny the way it moves as well, because the way it moves across the Earth, it actually takes in everything.
So could it
basically
be right? Okay.
So that alone is a decent argument for its movement to collect. If it is
collecting
satellite.
data,
it's in the perfect orbit of doing that.
So in the instance that it might be alien, right? Do you think it's manned? Do you think it's just like a drone or something like what we throw up in space, like a satellite that sends information back? And in that case, how far is this able to transmit this information? You know, they potentially could have technology that's, you know, way advanced of our own, and then, you know, able to transmit information.
Most definitely, if it is
way further,
But I remember a photo, I think it was either, can't quote me on this, either 2002 or 2010, there was a photo that come out and actually had pictures of it with its lights on. So you could actually see, like, you know, individual window markings, which was a very interesting picture to come out.
Oh, right, so you could actually see details.
Yeah, it was like the 1998 photo, but it was a little closer in, but then you've got the lights on and more details of it. And to me, as long as that is not a mock-up,
well, there is some, because, like, I mean, I've got one up here, and it says underneath the image, and it does look like a great image, very clear, and like you say, it's got like lights on and stuff like that. Underneath, it does say this is an artist impression of the proposed Black Knight satellite.
Yeah.
So potentially someone has just tinkered around with that to make
it
look a bit more like an alien.
But then
ship.
Potentially it could be the real article. You know what I mean? Until we keep looking in the skies and actually follow and have some kind of power of taking a photo of it, then it's not really gonna really happen, is it? Because I can't see the government turning around and going, "Oh yeah, all right, then we'll tell you the truth." Yeah, it is a.
Well, the Mail Online published a story back in March 21st of March 2017. About the alien satellite. Which they say was shot down by soldiers from the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And that's what alien hunters are claiming.
Right.
And, you know, the Black Knight satellite appears to be very much alive, you know, in terms of like...
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
I mean...
2002, there was a guy called Bill Young.
It's 120 years it's been going.
Spotted.
This satellite. It's been in one capacity or another.
But then recognised they've been there for 13,000 years.
What?
But recognised as possibly being there for 13,000 years.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. I mean,
I can't see where
that sounds a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there must be some kind of evidence, as in like through tribes and stuff like that as well.
Well, this is the thing,
because I haven't seen that much.
The thing about it being in our orbit and being small enough that it's undetectable from the ground, and you're never going to see it. I mean,
yeah, that's true. I mean, you haven't got telescopes and stuff like that.
I mean, we know now based on technology through the years, that now we have the capabilities to see what's on the ground from that orbit. Yeah,
giving us more
but we never used to be able to do that.
No.
Now, if there's a civilization that's got more technology than us, maybe they got that. Maybe they were on the GPS tracking many years ago, way before we got our hands on it.
True, but it makes it interesting to
maybe they got their own different type of stuff going on.
Yeah, but it makes an interesting question on what do they want with us? What are they actually supposed?
It's nanny cam, mate. It's big nanny cam. They're like
nanny cam, yeah. Or are we an encampment?
Maybe we are. Maybe we're just like a big entertainment reality show for these guys. Who knows?
Hey, well, yeah, everyone needs some entertainment, don't they?
This week on the big human planet.
Yeah, what's going to happen this week? What's going to happen to...
We're going to introduce some absolute idiot to the prime ministerial or the presidential office.
You don't need to.
Let's see
what
happens
in there.
Yeah. It's like, what happens if we bring the woolly mammoth back?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Well, it's going to try, aren't we? You know what I mean?
Well, no, that's us, though. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think in terms of, like, this is a whole other argument in itself in terms of,
surely
like...
they have the power to tap into your brain.
It's creator versus creator now. It's like, when you get to the point where you can go, this life stuff's easy. You know what I mean? Hey, here you go. There's a fucking endangered species that has once gone extinct. You know what I mean? We brought it back. It's like, fuck you, God.
What if they're like dealing through us through our dreams? What if they're the things that are actually controlling our dreams?
Oh, mate, we're getting into the realms of the had too much, late night. But I think the Black Knight satellite itself, it could be any number of things. I think like when you say you take the most plausible answer or sort of theory to it. I mean, in this instance, it does seem to be extraterrestrial. It doesn't seem to be any logic to it. You'd think that if it was nothing, or even just a bit of space debris or junk, that you'd kind of investigate it, but that doesn't seem to be the case. You know that they have, but it's not that important to tell us the truth. Do you know what I mean? In their eyes. So
funny enough you should say that, because September 2002, Bill Young is an Amazon based astrophysicist who spotted two bright objects in orbit around Earth, 60 feet across.
But when was this?
This was in 2002. It goes 30 miles per second. That's how fast it was going. And the name of it was J002E3, which at first they thought it was an asteroid, but then they noticed it didn't move like an asteroid. It actually went round the Earth, then went round the sun 7 times, and then come back to the Earth. Now,
so asteroids don't normally do that.
Yeah. Exactly. So what they did was they infrared camera on it to see what materials it was made out of. Now, this was the really interesting bit about it, which they found out that it was actually full of paint.
Paint?
Paint. And not only paint, industrial paint.
What?
Yeah. That's what they found off it.
It's almost like it is that Red Dwarf episode where he's like, we found aliens and it turns out to be like the garbage pod.
Yeah.
Well, where did the paint come from? It's like we've done decorating the ISS.
Yeah.
What do we do? Just shoot out the rest of the excess paint? It's just taking up space.
Yeah, and it hit this asteroid and we're only going to get the picture of paint. But yeah, it's industrial paint.
I mean, I'm all about art. Yeah, right. And I mean, Art Attack. Yeah, on a big scale.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, right? And it's like you've got like some astronauts sat on the ISS going, now this is an art attack.
Yeah.
Firing paint at asteroids. Do you know what I mean? It's like, wait until they see the pink rock. Yeah. It's really going to set off the universe.
Industrial paint, pink rock as well.
Of course, you need industrial paint because the universe is a harsh place.
Well, NASA...
You're going to need more than one coat. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's true, because NASA actually turned around.
Make sure you use a primer, a good brush.
they've calculated. I don't know if I trust this, to be honest. That they calculated it that it was actually a third-part rocket from one of the earlier missions. But what I don't get on that is, if it was a part of that, then how come it went round the sun?
Yeah,
I mean,
you would have thought that. I mean, that's got a life of its own.
Yeah, it's
basically.
like controlled. Yeah,
it's like we found the missing piece of the puzzle for space travel.
It's one of our spaceships. That's what it is.
Tins of paint.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Couple of tins of paint on board.
One of our triangles or something.
A bit crazy that. I mean, how it just went around the sun 7 times is a bit.
Well, this is it, and this is
it must have banged off something. I mean, we've got a story coming up in the news actually, because I'm always going on about space junk.
Yeah.
And we've got a good story coming up, so maybe they could we'll get into it.
Yeah,
we'll get into it later on.
We will.
Going back to the Black Knight satellite, have you got any more interesting information?
February 11th, 1960, U.S. Navy spotted an object tumbling through space in our upper atmosphere.
In terms of different accounts, they all add up to the same thing, really, isn't it? There is something in our atmosphere.
Well, no, not in this one, in this particular one, because later on it was unclassified that it was actually an American spy satellite.
Right.
But it didn't come out till not.
Yeah, I know, but again, would they not just say that? They go,
well, no, because they didn't want Russia to know about it, or any other enemies around the world.
Right, okay.
So it was like they were actually using it to spy on Russia in the Cold War.
Right. Okay.
So
So they had their own satellites up at the time, and then basically it was like, rather than say
that,
it was
that's
a
our
spy
satellite, we don't know what it is.
They just blame it on the satellite.
Yeah. But I think there's enough evidence here to say that it's not junk. I don't think I've had a look at the movements of the space junk that they're saying that what it is. So
it's
blanket.
Not no thermal blanket.
I can't see it's not any thermal blanket. No. And there's another mission that went off where it was 7 hours. There was something underneath the ISS, and they was filming it and stuff like that. But that, I think they tried to say that could be the black satellite, but it was white as anything for one. And I could notice it was a part of the space shield that they actually put on there. It wasn't that difficult to work out what it was, and it's definitely nothing like the 1998.
What we've seen, yeah. I mean, it's like there's a lot of I've seen images from the ISS feed.
Yeah, that
when you've seen it,
even
and then
massive
it's, like
things
I say,
outside.
It's cut feed.
Yeah.
That's a couple of times, you know, and
oh yeah, and they love disguising stuff out in space. Absolutely love it.
Well, we'd love to hear what you guys think of the Black Knight satellite. If you think it could be alien, or do you have another theory? It would be interesting
out
to
of
hear.
Our heads. We nuts?
Who? Us?
Yeah.
Well, I can't be nuts. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got reports from years and years and years and years and years ago of potentially, speculating that there could be something up there, right?
Yeah.
And as technology's got better, up until the point where we had nothing in space, we're getting reports of potentially 2 satellites. Yeah,
it's the same as like UFOs.
You can't deny those sort of connect the dots people. If all these people over this time period are saying that there is something there, then chances are there's something there. I mean, it was theorized that before the solar system was understood, it was theorized that planets were where they are. In some instance, where they say, based on what we know about the universe, I reckon there's another planet just beyond there. Yeah, right. And then when we found out he was right.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's like, I think in this respect, the evidence is stacking up more in favour of them being something there.
Yeah.
Than being nothing at all.
It's either ours or aliens.
Whether it's aliens is remain to be seen.
Yeah, because if we can put up an ISS and we could put up a
it just makes
smaller
me think,
shuttle.
Right, we we don't go to space much, yeah, right. But we've had a presence in space with the ISS, for quite a while, yeah. I'd say that if there was something in space, a Black Knight satellite or anything else, that the people on the ISS would have seen it, right? And whether they're sworn to secrecy or would be happy to discuss it, I don't know. But the idea that they would be privy to that information, it's kind of getting interesting now that we're getting more into the, commercial space sort of market where anybody can go up to space, which means any secrets that the government have sort of, out there that, like a Black Knight satellite or anything else that could be lurking, then leaving themselves a bit open to kind of people seeing things they're not supposed to. But then, was that a reason for nuking this thing out of the sky? Because at the end of the day, we can't have this hanging around because people are going to start asking questions because we can't go ahead with commercial space travel with this thing hanging around.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's going to freak people out.
Do you know what I mean? The mothership, we're fucked, basically.
Maybe. Who knows? If you've got an opinion about it, then we'd love to hear from you.
I'd like to see if there was any footage from the Mir space station. That was the one that was before the ISS. Now, they were up there for at least, I think it was about 10 years till they come back out of the orbit and crash to Earth. But they must have photographs or pictures of something, out there. So there must be more details.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking
it's just hidden away.
What we know about it and what we've, based on like the many accounts.
Yeah. There's something going on.
What the government don't tell you, the governments of the world, then there's definitely more information to be had on the Black Knight satellite. I just think that that's not classified or declassified, and we're going to wait until we can get that information.
Yeah.
Like sadly. I say, it is a pretty deep topic. So I hope we've kind of covered enough that you can kind of get your teeth into it. If you do know some pretty significant stuff, give us a shout and we'll make sure to give you a shout out in the next week's episode.
We will indeed.
Yeah. Well, I think the Black Knight satellite could be UFO, but it could be anything or
technically,
could be
it is
anything
a UFO.
or everything, and it definitely is a UFO because we don't know what it is.
Yeah, not yet, but we will at one point in time when the government lets us know and gives us the info.
Yeah,
if they
maybe
ever will,
one day.
Yeah, we still got to wait for the aliens to land on the lawn, even though.
Do you know what? Do you know what? That'd just solve everything, wouldn't it? If they just turned up and went, "Look, stop fucking about." Yeah, tell them.
Well, they've been frightening China for the
last
UFOs?
Couple of years.
Yeah,
frightening China.
Yeah, over the last 5 years, there's been some big things going on, like the City in the Sky. That one.
Yeah, I seen that, and that was one thing that kind of really amazed me when I seen it. But
10
it
days
was
later in a
almost
different
like
city.
that has been explained as kind of a phenomenon, a weather phenomenon.
But that doesn't explain how it happened.
I'd say that if that was linked to any sort of conspiracy, that City in the Sky, it would have been Blue Beam.
I've got to agree with that.
Projecting something in a misty sky or a misty harbour.
But there was a couple of weeks beforehand as well. There was a lot of UFO where like thousands of people were taking videos of a UFO over a city, and then yet again it moved to a different city a little time later. So there's been quite a lot of action going on. Even the airport was shut down.
Talking about action, we've got loads of action and UFO news and also NASA news coming up very shortly. Plus, all the crazy, wacky just events that have been happening this week.
We live in a mad world, man.
It's a mad world.
It is. It's crazy.
Do you know what it is? And, we'll be getting into it in a second.
We will indeed.
It's the news! Well, as always, we've scoured the World Wide Web to find you the weirdest, craziest, and as we said earlier, it's a weird world. It's a weird world out there.
It is indeed.
News that you don't have to, and I think you'll find it's been a bit of a fucking wacky week.
It has. Wacky week as usual.
As usual. I found quite a lot of stories, a lot of, it's common sense. gone mad.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, the lack of common sense in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah, I found this story, first of all, right, you know, this is a common sense moment for me. I mean, this is a story about a Florida man he's been accused of fraud, right?
All right.
And he thought, you know, I ain't going to no prison. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to escape.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So what do you do? What's your escape plan?
Yeah, well,
I'm asking, what would you do? You know, you're accused of fraud. You're trying to get away. You're in Florida. Where'd you go?
There's plenty of sea around, so a little boat or something.
Well, you're not far off, because this guy felt fleeing to Cuba on a jet ski would, you know, be the ticket out of there. Ticket
Why
to
not?
freedom.
Del Boy did.
Vamos.
Yeah.
What is it? No vamos or something.
No
yeah. Which is, you know, it's like he felt like he could get away on a jet ski.
Yeah.
I don't think he did. Ernesto
Ravanan.
Yeah, he's 54. He's been charged with fraud, healthcare fraud.
Oh, worst fraud, man.
I know, yeah. So he's blitzed off on his jet ski, but I think he's been caught. Obviously, he was trying to get to Cuba.
Yeah.
But he's been charged in a 4.2 million Medicare fraud scheme. So obviously, it's quite a lot of dough.
Yeah.
Well worth trying to escape from.
Well, yeah. He should have got a faster boat.
You should have.
Or an helicopter if you had enough money.
With 4.2 million, I think he could have afforded a better mode of transportation.
He could have got a submarine.
I know, jet ski seems a bit kind of like shit. Do you know what I mean?
He really didn't think about it, did
Bond.
he? Yeah. James Bond sinking in the sea.
Well, yeah. Have you seen anything in the news this week that you felt like you might share?
I have actually. There's a funny movement happening in California at the minute.
Okay, a bowel movement.
Well, no, thousands of people are moving to Mexico.
Seriously,
yeah. Apparently, half the properties that are being sold in Mexico at the minute, where there's a massive drug war going on.
Is this people who were native to Mexico just deciding to move back to Mexico, or is this like American patriots going, do you know what?
Yeah.
I fucking had enough of this country.
Yeah,
I'm moving to Mexico.
Yeah, the country's like.
I mean, Hawaii is nicer. If you're going to go to any other country, I mean, why would you?
Yeah,
I mean, nothing against Mexico. I mean, Mexico seems like a lovely country. It's got great customs and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's kind of a bit of a backwards trend, isn't it? I mean, they were talking about, obviously, during the Trump administration, about putting a big wall up.
Well, yes.
I mean,
Biden stopped that, though. And there's a new train full of people
like,
coming.
you know, we're going to Mexico now, so I'm glad they didn't put the wall up.
Do you want to buy a house?
It's like,
because the prices in Mexico are going sky high.
Property swap.
Yeah, that's a good program, that.
Yeah, you could do, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've swapped.
Surprised no one's jumped on that, yeah.
Living lifestyles of a Mexican family with an typical American family to see how they cope.
Disney's going to jump all over that.
Now, that sounds like a reality show, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Life swap.
Yeah. Boom.
There you go. I mean, I found this story. I thought it was a bit fucking horrific, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is a Nigerian senator and his wife, who've just been involved in a plot. Yeah. There's a lot of plots going on in the news this week.
Yes.
You know, this is a plot to bring kids into the UK.
Yeah.
Right. To harvest organs.
Yes.
Right. Now, it's a bit bleak, so I do apologise for the darkness of the story. But, I mean, why were they bringing them into the UK?
Because it must.
I mean, do we have some sort of like facility for doing this sort of thing? You know, if you're like, don't you bring your kids, we'll sort you out, we'll hook you up.
Well, it's closer than the US, because I know there's a lot of that kind of stuff goes on in the US as well. But surprisingly, there was a kid that actually got saved.
He was a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Who basically, they were charged on Thursday night with a plot to have a 15-year-old boy brought into the country to have its organs harvested. Whether that was the boy that was, saved in the process.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so. It just makes you think how many times this has gone on
Yeah,
and
why
it's
hadn't they been
not
caught
been noticed.
on,
Why
yeah.
were they not caught? Maybe there was an investigation and that's leaded to this arrest.
Yeah,
But,
and is there any more?
I mean, I'm hoping that when this does all kind of come out in the press about what the actual story is, then it's not as dark as I'm starting to suspect it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It is kind of a bit of to know that this sort of stuff still goes on or is going on. It's
don't forget that not that long
how can
ago,
you do that to somebody or to another fellow human being is kind of beyond me.
Sacrificed children in the Thames. That wasn't that long ago, realistically. It just seems like every now and again you get some stuff like this that get caught, which is great, but like
they need to be catching more. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we want to hear more about it as well, so people can understand what's going on. Well, I've heard a news story about the WHO.
The
WHO, yeah, World Health Organization, who are actually now starting to admit that the likelihood of the COVID-19 did come from Wuhan.
No shit,
no
Sherlock.
Surprise.
I wondered how long it had taken, before they went actually.
Well, they are paid by the Chinese.
Well,
a lot of their money
it's
is
not
from
like they're
Chinese.
paid, they're funded.
Yeah.
In terms, it's like I understand being paid and funded is two different things. In terms of like if you're being funded by an organisation, you don't necessarily. I mean, it would.
True,
I mean,
but you would.
Wait a minute. This is a good question actually, because do you know when it comes to ethical research? Yeah, right. So if you're a scientist and I'm a big corporation that is a bit shady, but I turn around to you and go, I want to invest in your research. I think you're doing good work. Here's a load of money.
Yeah.
I don't get involved.
No, but you'll have some stipulations of what you want to see a result
I want to
of.
see a result. But I mean, at the end of the day, but if I invest in your program and don't get involved, that's one thing. But when they start
deniability, that's where
laying
that goes
a
from.
lot of stipulations down into what it's going to be then used for, is that going to be
but then
a
that's
line
down to the
crossed?
conscience of my corporation to turn around and go, well, yeah, all right, we'll do it, or no, that's like beyond the pale, or my morals can't let me do that kind of stuff. So fuck your money.
Yeah, fuck your money.
Fuck your money.
Like
but how many companies will do that?
Well, not
most
many.
of them are desperate for money.
We do. We don't take any money.
Yeah.
Well,
no, we wish we did, but
no one offers. But there
time
you go.
Will come.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing to think where
loads of people have been blacklisted over this, and loads of people have been cussed out about this, and now it's turning out that actually they were telling the truth. You know what I mean? It's double standards. You know what I mean? It's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, here's some bullshit. The lack of bullshit.
Yeah.
The Republicans, have basically started up a new conspiracy theory.
Ooh, what's this?
Right.
One?
Well, do you know there's been a heat wave most
There
places?
has.
We talked about it at the top of the show. It's been really nice weather.
Yeah.
In America, there's been some really bad heat waves.
Yeah.
Where it's affecting livestock. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about birds falling out the sky in previous episodes where, we've put it down to like extreme weather.
It's getting more common, isn't it?
Where these cattle or birds or whatever it is are just basically keeling over because of sunstroke or high temperatures or low temperatures.
Heavily affected.
Now, due to the heat wave in America, a lot of cattle have basically passed away, right? Due to, temperatures being so ridiculoused hot, right?
Yeah, come on, get your meat here.
Well, this is the thing. They've basically passed on. They're not exactly going to be used for, feed.
Yeah.
But Republicans are saying now that they're being slaughtered purposely to create a food shortage.
Well, unless there's got if that's the truth, then they must have proof of some cows that have.
Well, there's no evidence whatsoever. The ranchers have said that the deaths of the cattle were not mysterious, and a spokesman for a livestock association told the PBS that the cows died from heart stress after a sudden 20-degree temperature spike.
What about HARP? Operation HARP?
What, using weather manipulation?
Yeah.
Only the Queen gets to use that on birthdays and holidays.
Ah, well, yeah, but she's just had a birthday, hasn't she?
Well, that's what I'm
So,
saying.
you
It
know what
was
I mean?
over that period, potentially. Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
carp messing with all the
Yeah.
cows. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think it
think it's a
potentially
change
is
of-
just the change of the weather.
Yeah.
But Republicans, chill out.
Yeah.
It's not a big conspiracy
Yeah,
to
don't
stop
worry
you having
about it.
beef.
It's about to get It's about to get colder now. We're coming into that spread of the planet's going to get a little colder. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that should go away in a couple of years, I should imagine.
So, anything else you've seen?
Yeah. Now this war on Ukraine, it looks like there may be another battleground.
I saw something about this. Is this where was it?
Yeah. Latvia.
Yeah, that's right.
Is cutting off the trains and gas supplies to Kaliningrad.
Right, yeah. So there's basically the border of Russia and Lithuania, which is obviously coming into Europe, the rest of Europe. There's a bit of no man's land there where they use it for kind of freight trains coming through, lorry deliveries, but a lot of that's not been going through. Yeah, which is causing no supplies are going through to Russia, which is obviously due to the fact that the war's happening in the Ukraine. I don't think the Lithuanians are showing too much support and sending too many supplies.
Well, that's it.
But there's also the fact that, the idea of having a Russian base on the doorstep is another thing. But then these locals from Lithuania are saying, look, we know people from Russia, we game with them, we talk to them, we go out drinking with them. They consider them neighbours. It's the difference of basically a stone's throw this town to the next.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the people who are living there, they're not the problem. Obviously, there's just regular Russians and regular
it's down to
Lithuanians.
him, Putin.
It's
at
down
the end
to
of the
Putin.
Day.
And
the only way we
can
hit the people.
The talk is that there could potentially be, if not already, a military base on that border, which is a bit of a piss take. It's
could be another proxy little war here at this time. And not only that, NATO has just put in the paperwork for Ukraine to actually be a part of NATO.
Nos vamos.
I think they signed it yesterday.
No way.
Yeah, anyway. So that's going to put a little bit of a bee in Putin's bonnet, and I wonder what his next reaction's going to be, because he's just won another town.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So he's getting the eastern part now. So let's see what his next move is. Hopefully, nothing major, but let's see.
Hopefully nothing. I did see. Did you see this about the Flash?
The Flash.
The Flash. No. Right, well, there's two Flashes, isn't he? Like, in the DC
I mean, that fella down the road with the Mac.
The guy with the Mac, yeah. He's been arrested a few times in decent exposure. Oh, no, this is Ezra Miller.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
Ezra.
Well, Ezra Miller, this is controversial, and I'd love to hear what people have to say on this, because he's in trouble, apparently.
Oh, right, no,
so the way I read the story is Ezra's met this woman,
right?
Whilst working or LA or wherever he was. She happens to be married with kids.
Ooh,
And Ezra has obviously developed some sort of relationship with this woman to the point where he said, you know what, fly out to my farm, bring the kids. She didn't tell the husband, right?
Oh.
So it seems like this woman's made a decision. She's leaving her husband for Ezra Miller, right?
She's getting porked from somewhere else.
So, well, crudely put,
but
obviously don't expect nothing less from you, Taylor.
Thank you very much.
So, she's disappeared to Ezra's. Obviously, father's concerned. Where's his kids? Where's his wife? Right? So, obviously, regardless of who this guy is, he's a movie star. She's probably thinking, oh, mate,
money.
I'm in it here. I've got a famous movie star. I'm dating the Flash.
Buy me diamonds and dresses.
Whatever the situation is, right? Now, I don't know if this is to discredit him as an actor, because don't get me wrong, I'm not on anyone's team here because I'm not a big DC fan for a start.
Right, okay,
so, But the idea here is that there's been allegations that he's been, he's had the kids, which are this woman's kids.
Yeah. Looking after
in the house, right? Which
sounds
nothing wrong with that, right? But apparently there was cannabis in the property or growing on the property.
Okay.
Right? So whether that was actually in his house or naturally growing on the land,
got the sunshine.
Who knows? Yeah. So it's a case of that's just
a seed that dropped out of someone's pocket.
It could be anything. Yeah. Right. But apparently, their sources are saying that it's more than you're legally allowed to have.
So he's got a crop going. Okay.
He's saying that the sources are also saying that he had at least 8 guns strewn about the property. Yeah, but with kids about, and the kids were able to play with the bullets. Yeah, right.
Oh,
now,
no, that's
I think this is a bit kind of one of these situations where this guy's obviously pissed off that his missus has left him. Yeah.
Blame everything and anything.
Well, he's trying to discredit him and trying to discredit the guy's, reputation. I think that
which quite
in
a few
this
people
case,
would do,
the guy's obviously hurt and trying to, lash out,
discredit the other guy, so he should now make a mistake and come back.
I'm not saying that these allegations aren't true because I don't know. Yeah, right. I mean, it could be the case. Yeah, but when you read the story, it doesn't seem as
bad as
it's been portrayed.
A lot of
maybe
papers and
it's all
stuff
kind
like
of
that,
like, no, that's not what happened at all. Do you know what I mean?
Trying to grab your attention for like something that maybe even is minor.
I mean, like I say, it could come out that this is like, so much worse than it is. It could come out that, but this is the thing, you see,
hopefully
because
not.
when, your lifestyle is like kind of brought to the life,
forefront
and especially when there's like kids involved as well, it's like that's when it starts getting,
And we're trying to find out who's the next trial after the Johnny Depp one. Who's the next one who's going to go to court?
Here we go. It's
a series now.
Well, apparently, what's her face has been axed from the new Aquaman movie.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, and she can't pay a lawyer or the bill, so she ain't going to get her $2 million.
Johnny Depp's not going to get his.
No, he was offered first count he got 10 and second count he got 5, so she owes 15, so she owes him 13 million.
Oh, fair enough.
But she's still like coming out and trying to defend herself, and she's saying like that just because it was because he was a movie star and that everyone knows about Johnny Depp, that like that's why he actually got the win through it and all. And it's like, look, you lost the battle, right? Just step away and get on with the rest of your life.
That's refreshing to hear you say that as a Trump supporter, because that's what we would have all liked to hear from the man, at that point. Yeah. But he's like, you lost, get over it.
Yeah.
Stop whinging.
Yeah. Anyway. But as a lot as no, he really won. He was just,
shut up. We're not going down there.
Actually, a senator got done for that because he actually admitted guilt of actually putting a lot more votes in than shouldn't have been, and he's just been sentenced.
Put a load, like five of his mates.
Hopefully, it's not the first of many. So
I don't think so.
Get rid of the cheating system.
Well, you definitely need to get rid of any sort of system that might, lead to, dishonesty or cheating.
Yeah.
Moving on from that stuff. Anyway, I found this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a story about a Supreme Court who've sided with a Georgia prisoner. Yeah.
All right.
Right. About the method of his execution.
Oh, what? Love to death.
Yeah, wouldn't it be good? It's like, I'll be caked to death, please.
Yeah.
Just keep bringing the cake.
Yeah.
You're not dying though, I know.
But
I will soon, I promise.
I will. Just give me a little time.
You're just going to need to keep bringing me the cake. Yeah, right. Well, whatever his method, he's basically requested firing squad.
Oh,
that's
really?
pretty old school, that, isn't it?
That is pretty old school.
Yeah, so a US Supreme Court on Thursday ruled in favour of the Georgia death row prisoner seeking to die by firing squad, which is not one of the state's approved methods of execution.
Happy ending for him, innit?
They've went, fuck it, why not?
It's cheaper on the bills, isn't it?
I know, it's like one
electric
bullet.
bill will go down.
It's all good. It's like we didn't even use all the bullets.
No.
We only used one.
Yeah, the rest were blanks.
The High Court said Michael Nance, 61, was allowed to, challenge his execution protocol under federal civil rights laws.
Good, I like that. If you can work your own death, if you like, you don't want to be electrocuted or gassed.
Like, do you know what? I just, I don't feel injected. It's not me. It's like, I thought about the chair, I don't like the smell.
I think out of all the ways of dying, I think that would be.
I think I'll have firing squad, please.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
You're not poison.
No. No, because then you're in anguish for a little while before you actually.
Well, this is
die.
what I think. I think this is the most.
Hanging, you're still in anguish.
Yeah, this
you
is
still
the
got
thing.
time.
But isn't that the point of like being
suffering?
Having you're not. It's not a quick death in terms of like I mean, it's funny to.
It's not exactly suffering,
no,
is
because
it?
I mean, it is funny because he's right in
freedom.
terms of human rights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether if you're planning on killing me as a prisoner, then surely I should be entitled by my human rights to go the fastest, most humane way. In the way, I mean, we talk about it in terms of how we, slaughter and butcher animals, and how we kind of make it. We go to great lengths to make sure that these animals don't suffer during the butchering stage or the knocking stage, or exactly right. So why would that not apply to humans more in that respect? Because if you're on death row and you're awaiting the chair or awaiting lethal injection, like you've just said, there's definitely a period of turmoil, of fucking feeling like shit.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen
pain.
fast, does it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not a fast death, which is what really they should be. If they're going to keep up with the death penalty, then they should be aiming for a faster, more humane death. Well, I mean, the idea is not to make them suffer, it's just to get them off the planet. Is that not correct? I mean, if they've committed a crime so heinous that they're on death row, right? Now, I mean, I'm not even saying that everybody on death row is fucking guilty. Because it's been proven that people on death row have been
proven innocent. That was why we got rid of the death sentence in Britain.
And, it's like, oh, shit, it's too late now.
Yeah.
And he's actually innocent. You can't bring him back. But, if you're going to go down that road and, it's the most extreme penalty, then,
Yeah, but it's not the extreme penalty, really,
well,
is it?
Well, it is, but the idea is they're so heinous that we just want to get rid of them. We want them off the planet. We don't want them in society anymore, right? So why not make that the most quickest, efficient way and most humane way?
Because, well, first off...
Instead of going, we're going to have ourselves a hanging or a fucking electric chair or lethal injection, which, like you've just admitted, all come with... I mean, I'm not saying firing squad's going to be, like, amazing, but...
Yeah, but I'm all for the death penalty in the right situations, but then, like, I've lost my track.
2 hours later.
Oh, he's lost it.
I lost my track where I was going with that.
He just went, I'm all for the death penalty. In the right situation, and then said nothing. So basically, I agree with you. I do agree with you. I mean, like in the sense that, I mean, it's a most extreme situation, isn't it? So it's like if you've done something so extreme that there's no other punishment that you can give that's going to fit the crime.
Well, death penalty, if you consider it in one way, it's not punishment. It's the freedom of them. Leaving, you want to make him suffer.
You stick him in a cell and make him
don't put as much money as you would put in. There you are. You're getting slop. Just enough.
No Xbox for you,
no
sir.
Xbox, no TV. You sat in the room 24 hours a day.
I think not.
Make you go crazy. Either something like that, or torturing before they actually you kill them.
You see again, torturing.
You've got to give him. You've got to give.
There's certain jobs in life, right? In history, there's certain jobs in history that I just think you've got to have a certain thing about you to do that job.
S&M.
The torture guy, the guy who does the execution.
Yeah.
Now it's like, God, how'd you go home and have job satisfaction? Feeling like you've done you can't step back at the end of the day and go, good job that.
Yeah,
looking at all the stacks of heads
you couldn't turn around and say, well, I know him and I don't want to do it either.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's loads of different
effects, well, I think that's why they got rid of the sole man for it, and now it's
mechanise it, guillotines.
And stuff like that. Then you've got several stages then to make sure that everything goes right.
I'd say the guillotine I mean, if you modernize the guillotine in terms of like, you know, clean cut, you know, because I think the problem with the guillotine back in the day was like, you know, it wasn't efficient.
Quite a bit blunt.
It was blunt. You probably have to do a couple of chops before you got all the way through. Whereas a modern guillotine, I reckon it'd take it off in one file.
Yeah,
swoop.
There's a few famous kings actually.
So,
in that
do you reckon if this guy had requested guillotine as his method of execution, they would have said yeah? Do you think they would have gone?
I think guillotine would have gone a bit too much. Yeah,
you're taking the piss now, mate.
I think shooting, you know, shooting someone for their penalty. I mean, I'm surprised actually that they did turn around and agree to it, because you're actually then agreeing to the bad person who we're trying to get rid of. So you're actually...
Well, no, maybe it's just one of those, like, whatever, mate.
No, you know what? Fuck you. You're going to get the injection, the gas, strung over the same fucking time, you know what I mean?
He's basically fought that in the courts to say that it's against his human rights to go that way.
Shouldn't have no human rights.
Well, that's the case.
If he's got a death penalty, he should have no rights at all.
I do agree, yeah, that, you know, part of being in prison is that your rights are stripped. Yeah, right?
Yeah, totally.
So, but as a human right, I mean, you still, you know, okay, look
at... categorise them as a human if they're going.
Look at prisoners of war, right? Yeah. Similar situation. They're in captivity, yeah. Do they not have human rights? People in captivity still have human rights. Yeah, but to me, the death penalty, you know that person's going to be going. They've done that. Well, it's
so
a case
wrong.
Of, do you want to watch me suffer, or do you just want me gone?
Well, yeah, like I said, I'd rather like to see him suffer before they go than like
Taylor, there you go, showing his sadistic nature.
Well, no, because
I'd like to see him wiggle around on the floor for a bit first, please.
But you got to think of the victims' family and that, what they've got to be thinking about as well. So he's asked for this way to die, and they've agreed to it.
Not always, but most of the time, victims probably wouldn't want to be like.
Well, I'm sure they want them to suffer.
I mean, it's a bit of a topic that, you know, we could get into, but it is a big topic. And I'm pretty sure that in a lot of instances that, I agree that they might want them to fucking suffer a bit, depending on what the crime is, Like
it is, you know, the fact
that they've got into prison, like we said, some people who've been sent down are innocent.
Yeah, are innocent, totally.
Also, that, you know, if you are in that situation where you are, you know, suffering, is the fact that you just have to sit there knowing that you're on death row, going to die, not suffering enough, waiting to the point where you are going to die.
To be honest, no, because...
Well, what more do you want?
No, because, like, let's say I'm
fucking hell, never get on the wrong side of Taylor, mate. He's ruthless.
Well, I'd probably, if I know I'm going to go on death row and I'm just waiting around for a little while before
would you not try and, like, make up for your sin?
Probably hang myself through it beforehand, so because I know it's coming.
Well,
I've got nothing to win now.
That's not, you know, that's just on your terms there. But,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like, you know, you're a bit
I would like to leave on my terms and
but
terms
what
of
I'm saying
anyone
is, it's like, again, you're requesting a method of execution that's a bit more.
I would request that.
That's a bit more kind of humane.
Yeah.
By taking that option that you've just suggested, that's just defeats the objective of requesting the.
Well, no, it just means I give up a little bit.
I think we should move on from this topic because, to be honest, I think that you were very argumentative on this one.
Yeah, well, you know, it's I've just thought about it. You know what I mean? I've just thought where I've stood. Where
I don't think you have, but like, check this one, right? So schools, obviously, they've been having a lot of crazy shit going on in America.
They have.
So one of the answers to this is American teachers.
Right.
Being trained to shoot a gun.
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago, I think some states wanted to try that. And I think there was some battles as well in the courts. And I think some won, some didn't.
Well, you think it might be a good idea that, you know, your teachers are trained in guns.
Firearms.
Yeah. But, you know, it's one thing when your teachers have gone on this... training course.
Yeah.
And one of them ends up shooting the colleague.
Whoa! What pissed them off? What? No,
I'm
no
not
cream
sure
in
if
the
do you
tea
know
or
what?
something.
It's basically like they've gone to some camp to learn how to shoot.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently like
Kicked off.
Well, it's not exactly kicked off. I
Accidental.
don't think. I mean, do you think it's a good idea? Do you think? Would you be like?
Yeah.
Would
Should
you
always
be
train if you
buzzing if you like your teacher started popping caps?
Well, you should have at least 1 to 2 teachers, depending on the size of the school, who are mentally plus.
Mentally prepared for that
you
type of
to
thing
use
to
this
happen.
weapon. Yeah.
I just think that it's like by having weapons on the premises, and not just on the premises, basically by the sounds of it, in every classroom, is
I
more
think that's a bit over
opportunity
the
for
top.
children to get their hands on them.
Yeah, there's more chance. Yeah.
You know,
so at least 2.
Our teacher's going to have to be like super extra vigilant.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
How quickly are they going to be able to react in this sort of emergency situation to not only get the gun out of its safety stash place, to
I'd say
it,
they're armed straight away.
well, you'd hope that this training might actually pay off for them. So, you
Yeah.
know, it's... but, yeah, apparently this happened in Ohio, and it was a problem where basically the teacher ended up shooting one of the colleagues by accident.
Say what, leg or something?
It must have been something
not
like
life-threatening.
not life-threatening, yeah. So...
Yeah, I'd teach you, bitch. Yeah, you make sure you put them creams in my coffee. You get me? Well, there was some interesting news that I found out about Ghislaine Maxwell, who...
Here we go. We're going back to prison.
We are.
He hadn't had enough. He was like, do you know what? Here's another one that should be on death row. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, well, she may be, because...
I wonder how she'll choose to die.
Well, I don't think she's going to end up having a choice, because if you remember, Epstein died in a prison when the cameras wasn't working right. Just this week, a Frenchman who was like Jean-Luc Baron, I think it is, who was basically some like... someone in fashion, big in fashion, and like had loads of models and stuff like that. He was supplying the kids.
This is like a Giorgio Armani.
Yeah. So he went to prison, and in that prison he had so-called committed suicide, plus the cameras weren't working.
Oh, right. So it was a similar situation to Epstein.
Yeah, and it's Ghislaine Maxwell as her cellmate has turned around and spoke about how someone has offered him a lot of money several times to strangle her in the middle of the night, so it looked like a suicide.
Yeah, but was that like another prisoner, or was that...
Yeah, there was another prisoner. There's a couple of prisoners who've been offered
but is that just not people
who
who just don't like her for the reason why she's behind bars?
Well, who wants to pay a large amount of money to get her killed?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the question.
I mean,
for someone
obviously...
who's been charged for trafficking for 30 years, maybe plus, yet there is no other charges against anyone in their little black book. So how can they be charged if there's no one else to charge?
Well,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
The list of people,
Well, yeah, exactly. Unless they've got more people that, you know, haven't been outed yet.
Usually the DOJ leak information into the public by now, and this is being strongly held back for some reason.
Yeah, they do seem to be keeping the cards close to the chest with this one. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to find out who is involved and how much more damage this is going to cause. Do you know what I mean? But again, it's like like you were saying, depending on like the crime, it's like there is certain people that I do fully agree and support the death penalty on. Yeah. And you know, in this case, I feel like, you know, Epstein got what he deserved.
He should have suffered, I think, a lot.
You're all about the suffering tonight. Again, like I say, don't get on the wrong side of Taylor. I'm getting a bit scared
They
tonight.
made kids suffer, so you know what? They should, like, triple, double, you know.
Too right.
Make them suffer for a long time.
Right, well...
cracking rocks.
Breaking boulders on the chain gang.
That's it.
Right.
Well, have you heard about Elon
I don't know,
Musk?
but is it going to be bleak? Because what's he done? Bought a fucking...
slave yard, yeah.
Oh, yeah, go on.
No, he's actually looking now on buying Mercedes. I think the paperwork is going through.
So you were right on the money on the first instance then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, bought Mercedes. He was only buying Twitter the other day. And I mean...
Well, yeah, that's still going through. Yeah.
So he's just done his bit on a shopping spree at the minute.
You mean, yeah.
I wonder if he's ever turned around to Bezos and gone, how much do you want for Amazon?
You know what? I reckon they've had a little discussion
just to
about
take
that.
the piss.
Yeah, just to see.
And then
how
Bezos
much money
has
have
probably
you got?
turned around and gone, you can't afford it.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I bet
I'm number one this week.
I bet I could.
Next
Like,
week, wait
now-
until the shares go up.
Yeah, well, funny enough, like, you know, the Blue Origin rocket, like,
Yeah.
they've brought out a toy now of it. Like, you can buy yourself a model Blue
sex
Origin.
toy?
It looks exactly like a sex toy, I won't lie. It looks like a penis. You know, Jeff
It
Bezos.
looks like a penis.
It looks like a penis. If it looks like a penis and feels like a penis, it's probably a penis.
It's a penis.
And Jeff, you know, obviously, you know,
And the honours.
really proud. He's made a action figure penis out of his rocket, which
Yeah.
is on sale on the internet. You can buy that.
Got little figures of him as well, in there.
Probably in the ball capsules.
Spunk ball.
So yeah, you can go over and check that out. Maybe that's what we should send to space.
What, spunk ball?
No, just the Jeff Bezos
Penis.
Blue Origin penis.
Hey, that's an idea, yeah.
Yeah, well, we did have a similar idea, but we won't go into that.
Yeah, it was a bit of filth.
So what you saying then? He's buying Mercedes, and why is that?
Yeah. Well, like Mercedes has been selling shares here and there, basically, and I think they have something like 4%.
Are they
left
Deutsche
and-
Spunged Technik?
Yeah, but
Are they the ones? Is that not Volkswagen?
Well, they do all sorts now. Mercedes have got a list of cars now. So
are they hoping that Mercedes will take over manufacturer Tesla for more quality, or are they going to use Mercedes, keep bringing out Mercedes, but also bring out
I think
a better Tesla built by Mercedes?
Yeah, because the actual Teslas have been having little bits of problems here and there, and they've already made a deal for 100,000 of the next model of Tesla, which is going to bring in a nice chunk change. But that also made the company rise 10% and become $1 trillion company. And then he was looking into buying Mercedes when he was talking about Twitter. But he was looking at it in a couple more years' time. But it looks like he's going for the hit now.
Yeah, I've just quickly. I've just had a report in.
Yeah.
From the taxpayers.
Oh yeah.
Who say we'd
paid
rather kill them than let them suffer in prison. Sorry, I just had to. That was quickly came in from the taxpayers. I just needed to tell you that.
All right.
Right.
Well,
Anyway, moving on with the news.
moving on.
We'll get thanks taxpayers. We'll make sure Taylor gets that message.
I got it. Yeah. I'm watching you lot.
What was I going to say?
Like the government.
Like the Illuminati.
Oh yeah, spies in all pies.
There's been stuff going on in space. Have you got? Are we ready for space news and NASA
We
news?
are, I think. Yeah,
I think
am.
so. Space tourism, like we've just been
yeah.
talking about Jeff and his Bezos balls on his cock rocket.
Yeah, cock rocket,
but
I like that.
Space tourism from companies like SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, and Blue Origin could undo all the work we've done repairing the ozone layer. Apparently, this is what a study has found.
Well, good job then that we are actually having more lightning strikes.
Well, that's good news,
yeah.
isn't it? I mean, I don't know, but chemicals which damage the ozone layer were banned in the 1980s, but they're being heavily used
to get us up to space.
To get us up to space, yeah, by people like Richard Branson, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and they could threaten the progress. Do you think commercial travel to space is, worth it for the long term, reversing damage that we've done and putting us in a long term situation where we're going to be constantly now trying to repair
balance.
that.
I think it's a part of balance.
Or trying to find, chemicals that don't affect it but still do the job.
Well, hopefully, like the.
It's one thing saying we need to reduce CO2 gases, but then blast off 20 rockets a year.
Well, yeah, I know, but it doesn't help when you're still carrying on with shitloads of planes, shitloads of traffic, and businesses doing it at the same time. But the reason I was talking about thunderstorms was because lightning actually helps our ozone layer. So the more thunderstorms there is, the more effect of the actual greenhouse effect,
that's
which
fair
has
enough.
reversed.
And I mean, everyone loves a good lightning storm every now and again.
Yeah.
But I mean, we had one.
Yeah.
We had a thunderstorm today. But I mean, it's like, would you put up with constant thunder and lightning storms? I know they say lightning
won't come at that effect.
Doesn't strike twice, but I mean, it is quite dangerous. In fact, I'd go on YouTube if you've got nothing to do one day, right, and you're thinking I need something to YouTube.
Yeah.
Lightning strikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God! I spent a good portion of my life watching lightning strikes on YouTube.
You've seen them going up.
Seriously, I've seen every type of lightning strike.
Loads
They're so
more of them too.
amazing and beautiful and kind of just unique. They're really, you know what? They're a force of nature, and when you see them hit, and when you see, it's so amazing when you think that these things have been caught on camera. Especially when they're so destructive and do a lot of damage, you know, like, wow,
in a tree
we've just seen that.
Yeah.
You know, definitely check it out. It's really worth a bit of a rabbit hole dive on lightning strikes.
Definitely.
Or, you know.
But there's another thing with lightning strikes. The more lightning strikes there is, it tells us about our magnetic field, which actually comes on to one of my stories about how the sun, there's a sunspot on the sun which has doubled in size to 2.5 times the size of Earth, and is facing us at the moment. Yeah, which hopefully, if it doesn't blow off in the next couple of days, even probably the next couple of hours,
you've kind of got me thinking, actually, because do you know, like, there's a lot of really interesting, handy stuff on the internet, isn't there?
Yeah.
Right. Now, as a prepper, I wouldn't say you were a prepper, but I'd say you're overly cautious. Yeah. Right. Wouldn't you think that printing out all this stuff that's kind of pretty useful, like how to make a generator or how to do this and how to survive, wouldn't be worth printing out and putting it into a ring binder somewhere?
No, I'd.
Well, because if the internet goes down, well, no, I mean, it's all great having it in your head, but I mean, by, you know, having it in black and white, you can share that around.
What if I lose it? What if I get it robbed?
You might, but by that point, you might.
You're
so
around.
negative.
No,
I'm trying to come up with a, like, you know, wouldn't this be a good idea? And you're like, no, what if I lose it? What if it gets stolen? It's like, great. Well, they get the knowledge as well. Sharing is caring. What I'm getting at is, as a prepper, if the internet, a solar flare was, like, linking back to your story, like if a solar flare was to go off and the internet went down, right, wouldn't it be beneficial to go, it's all right, guys, build the generator.
I'm in charge now.
I've got the schematics right here, not going, oh, I've got it in my head, I kind of remember bits of it. Should I? Oh,
Let's try this.
I think it was like this. That's not going to cut it in an apocalyptic situation. I appreciate that you went to the effort to try and remember it, but fuck me, mate. Have you got it written down anywhere? Do you know what I mean?
I have got bits. I've
got a ring binder over there, but I lost it.
I have got bits of material or certain books to give me advice on certain things.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Because obviously it's all handy having all this knowledge on the internet. Yeah.
True.
But if we're ever in a situation where the internet's gone down, it's like one guy's going to turn around to the other and go, yeah, I saw that on an internet, on a YouTube video one day, but I can't really remember it. And then that's it. That's the end of the conversation. Do you know what I mean? It's
it's true,
by being able to go, I remember seeing that on the internet, and here it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not only that, it's not been proven, whatever they'd be doing on the internet anyway, to be honest. So it's best if you're going to do it, is try it.
I'm talking about just general stuff like how to make a generator or a stove or, you know, survival stuff.
Well, you were showing me one the other week, and I thought, like, you know what? I thought about a week later, I thought, you know what? It might be worth, like, possibly either trying to make one or at least have the ideas put down.
One of those perpetual generators. Yeah, totally. I totally agree. And it's like one of those things that I keep thinking, oh, do you know what? That'd be really handy to have. But it's one of those things that you need to build now, because if you ever do need it, you've got it. Yeah, but especially at the moment, because if we're in a crisis, like energy crisis, then being able to minimize your bills and generate your own electricity is a definite, fucking plus.
And not only that, I found out that
I'd recommend anybody to do it. To be honest, get down the scrapyard and get yourself an alternator.
The last time we got hit by to destroy all our EMP and like destroy our electrics was 1859. Now that was nowhere near the amount of energy and electric and chips that we use now. And it's supposed to happen every 150 years. We are due right on top of it now.
So we're due one now?
Yeah.
A bit of a flare.
But there's also been, we have been looking
Who's that? That's
to
flare.
2025. We're in like a dangerous period.
Right, okay. Well, watch out for flares out there.
Yeah.
Watch out for solar bubbles and worms and all that. Well, do you know we were talking about the Black Knight satellite?
We were, yeah.
Obviously, satellites, I mean, there's just a lot of crap up there, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been throwing up stuff into space for, the last 50, 60 years?
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
And, I mean, there's got to be a lot of litter up there now. And it's not like we can just send up the waste disposal.
27,000 pieces are being monitored all the time.
Now, that's got to be starting to get dangerous in terms of plans to put more satellites out, schedule flights.
Well, that's why SpaceX is good at what they do and bring it back.
You were telling me, I think you've got a story coming up about
the British first rocket test, and it works. It's on target, and we're leaps of bounds from where we should be.
Well, we've always been good with rockets.
We have, yeah.
We're good with most things like that.
We are.
Engineers comes from British engineering.
Oh, yeah.
And Moxie.
Yeah.
Well, using that rocket, I think that one of their first missions is what they're calling the Goblin satellite.
Yeah, weird name.
No, it's gobbling up stuff. Yeah, and I think it's such a good name and a good use of a satellite.
Yeah.
This is the first of its kind.
Oh, right.
And it's a UK mission that cleans space debris.
We're starting to be the bin men.
Yeah, well, we're the bin men of space. By removing
space.
dead satellites and other, debris from Earth's orbit.
You know what?
How amazing is that? I mean, we've been saying this on the show since we started about how much space debris there is. And, there's never really, from what we've seen, any effort to try and clean it up.
We talked about it as usual, but we never actually go up and do it. I mean, the nearest one I heard was Sweden, I think it was, who had a machine that would do it, but that ain't even looking at going up until at least 2025.
I mean, considering, when you look at stuff that's going on in space, I mean, I've just said it there about how much stuff's cluttering up the place.
Yeah.
Earlier this month, the International Space Station had to swerve, to avoid space junk, basically, to avoid being hit by space debris from the Russian anti-satellite test. So, this type of satellite, which kind of cleans up the outer atmosphere or the Earth's upper atmosphere, it's definitely worth.
It's interesting what they're going to do with the actual materials that they pick up. Are they going to throw it to the sun? Are they going to throw it back to Earth? Do we claim that?
I mean,
do we claim it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we're sending, if we're the bin men, do we get to kind of salvage the scrap?
Yeah, but we don't want it hitting on top of our roof in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Because we don't know.
It's coming in.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like bin bag on its way.
It's like he didn't bag it up. He didn't separate the plastics.
Yeah. Damn it. Throw it near the ocean, I think.
True. Any more satellite news or space news, NASA news, alien news?
No.
No
news over here.
It's actually been 75 years.
Yes.
Since the first UFO report came in.
Yes.
Yep.
Roswell.
It wasn't actually. It was over Washington. Washington's Mount in Rainer 75 years ago on Friday. And this is the first flying saucer account. This is not reported account, because as we know, these have been going on for absolutely years and years and years. Yeah. But this was over Washington Mount Rainer 75 years ago on Friday.
Well, same. This is the same anniversary of Roswell.
Well, actually,
on
kind
July
of right,
the
yeah.
7th.
Well, July in 1947 was when the flying disc was found near Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is close.
It is.
But this is coming this Friday. So, even before Roswell, it might have only been a couple of days.
Yeah.
But it was the first
earlier,
reported incident, and they celebrate that on its 75th anniversary.
Why not?
There you go.
Yeah.
One last news. One last NASA news. Mars.
Oh, yeah, lovely Mars.
Lovely Mars. So, it's springtime on Mars at the moment.
It is.
Springtime.
It is. The birds are tweeting.
Only weathering time.
Crickets are moving.
Sing, hating.
Rabbits are fucking.
They are. Well, Martians. Martian rabbits. Green men are dancing.
They are.
Yeah. Well, no, stuff's happening.
Mars,
spring on Mars is something else, apparently. So, the springtime on Mars has generated these mysterious polygons.
Okay.
They say that they're in bloom, and new images from the orbiting high-resolution imaging experiment HIRISE.
Yeah.
The camera has sent back the images, and they are stunning.
Images, yeah.
They're kind of like these sort of like bluey sort of shapes that have just started to kind of come out of the ground, if you like. If you remember, do you know when
like Yellowstone?
Well, yeah. If you see the salt flats,
yeah,
right, and how it cracks, and you end up with these sort of like patterns that are forming with the cracks, like these polygons.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it looks like, but it's almost like a blue crystal. Yeah, and they reckon that it's these appear when the lunar surface, when the waters or surface ice melts. And then it kind of releases gases from the surface. And it creates these patterns, but they are very beautiful. I will post them on Instagram.
Yeah. Talking about, you just reminded me about Yellowstone. Yellowstone seems to be getting a lot worse at the minute.
A bit of activity, is it?
Yeah, there's...
We've been having lots of volcanic activity for the last year, haven't we, all over the show?
We have. It's a bit interesting. I think it's going to be a very interesting year to come.
Oh, well, let's see what's
hopefully
happening.
for the good.
Oh, hopefully. We all deserve a bit of goodness and a bit of, good vibes.
Hope for
always
the best,
sending good
prepare
vibes.
for the worst.
Unless you, Taylor, because you might lose your ring binder.
Well, no, got it all up in here.
It's all up here, up here for remembering, down here for dancing.
Because all that kind of shit will be valuable.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's worth getting it down on paper. And if you're worried you're going to lose
a couple of copies.
And,
I'm thinking
so you
about
can go
that.
like that.
Sell them.
Here you go. I've got the answers to all your problems here. Irrigation, no problem.
Yeah, give me all your gas and
solar power. It's like, because I'm not being funny, right? End of the world style shit, right? Anybody remaining will be able to go, oh, there's some solar panels there. I'll utilize them for my own needs, right? Yeah, right.
I think wind-up's going to be better.
Well, whatever the situation, there's going to be a certain lack of knowledge.
Yeah,
right. The average guy, me personally, I could look at solar panels, try and work it out, but there'll be a step in the process that I won't know. Right, and it's handy to maybe have that sort of information, hard copy.
True.
You know what I mean? Not all just relying on being up there.
Smart ass.
Being a smart ass, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true. That's why I got quite a bit written down, but I've also...
No, I'm not. But I just thought it might be a good idea, considering all this internet knowledge is there, and if there was an EMP or solar flare or anything like that jeopardised the internet's existence.
How to do that?
Oh, imagine that. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Back to the day.
Yeah,
when there was no internet. Anyway, well, that's the end of the show.
It is.
I do believe.
It is.
Get in touch if you have any questions or your comments, suggestions, queries.
Say hello.
If you've got any, what's fucked up where you're from.
Oh, yeah. There's a
do
lot
get in touch. Tell
places.
us what is fucked up where you're from.
Yeah.
It's always good to hear.
Are you the one who's fucking up the place?
Have you got paranormal activities?
Oh,
have you had alien sightings, ghost stories,
pictures
cryptids?
Of
anything like that, you get in touch and tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
And we'll maybe feature you on the show.
Oh, yes, we will.
If you want to get in touch, you can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com.
It's a beautiful place.
We're on Twitter at NASA_never, on Instagram at neverstraightanswer, and we're available on all podcast platforms, so no matter where No
You heard
matter
that
where
right.
you get your podcasts from,
We are there.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe us, all of them. Just
Yeah.
show your love.
Yeah.
And if
Every
you do
single
like
one.
what we do, I know we ramble sometimes, but we enjoy it.
Yes, you do.
You can, be a supporter by going over to Patreon.
Yes,
You can
please
hit
do.
up Patreon and show your love by subscribing there and showing a few
Love it, a
quid.
little bit of love.
Sending over a few quid on the monthly.
Yeah, keep us
It's all good.
TikToking going along.
Help us buy coffee to keep us podcasting.
Oh, yeah, I love a coffee.
I'm getting dry mouth. I do need a brew.
Yes.
And considering it's 4:00 in the morning,
Oh,
I think we should call it a
yes.
night.
I think so.
We'll be back next week.
We
We
will
will be
indeed.
back next week, won't we?
Yes, we will.
With
sir.
another
Great topic.
We've got a kind of alien topic going.
Yeah.
Thank you to anyone who stayed to the end.
Yes.
And
You're
privy
brave.
to next week's
You're a
topic,
hero.
which is more aliens. I hope you'll appreciate.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you next time. This has been the Never Straight Answer podcast.
Yes.
I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
We'll see you next time. Peace.
Outer space.
Shabba.